So today I have a very special guest joining me today from New York. His name is Brian Becker. He's the founder of the Party for Socialism and Liberation. He's also the director for Act Now to Stop War and End Racism.
Why we care about China is, one, as socialists, we don't think of ourselves as simply Americans. We think of ourselves as human beings. And in that sense, China and the Chinese people are just like us. Why? Because they are human beings. We are part of a human family. The same way we view immigrants from Mexico or from Central America, we don't say those people. Those are our people. They happen to be living in areas that have become very impoverished, largely because of US policy. And again, it's not the policy of the American people, it's the policy of American corporations or American policy elites who routinely carry out coup d'etat and regime change in countries that are trying to make progress in Latin America. So we care about China in that sense. We also care about China because it is socialist, and to the extent that China succeeds and is succeeding, it tells the rest of the world, socialism doesn't mean that you will become poorer. Socialism doesn't mean that. Socialism can mean that you have balanced economic and common prosperity. So to the extent that China succeeds, it validates socialism. The Xi Jinping's speech at the opening of the Congress, reaffirming socialism, putting China's development in the context of socialism. And then there's another factor, which I want to mention. For the people in Africa, the people in Latin America, the people in the Middle East and in other parts of Asia. I was just in a meeting in Brazil, a conference, and there were representatives from all of those countries. They all look very favorably upon China. Doesn't mean they agree with every element of Chinese policy, but the essence of the thing that they like most about China is that in the economic interactions between their countries and China, China is not simply trying to get the very best possible deal. It's not trying to squeeze the last penny out of the countries that it's doing business with. Like Western formerly colonial powers, they only exploited Africa, enslaved or exploited Africa. They only wanted to get the best deal for themselves. They wanted to extract Africa's resources and leave Africa underdeveloped. And China, through the Belt and Road Initiative and in its general political orientation, actually says to Africa, we are with you. We want you to develop. China has always been a champion of Africa. And in Latin America, instead of Latin America being treated as America's backyard, meaning American corporations dictate the terms of business agreements, China offers an alternative. And China wants access to the world. No country can be an island, even a big country like China. So it needs economic interactions with other parts of the world that have different things to offer. But it can do it truly on a basis of a win-win sort of arrangement, whereby one side doesn't feel plundered and exploited while the other side extracts all of the wealth. And so you can see that Americans basically don't know this, but the people in Africa know it, and the people in Latin America know it, that China offers a better deal on business terms and also an alternative so the US doesn't have complete hegemony and monopoly over these countries.